I guess.
Your sharing is paused.
Pardon?
It says my screen sharing is paused.
Do you, no.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah,
Like I just switched slides. Can you see it says hi, I'm Liv?
no.
Okay, so how do I resume? There we go. Safari, resume. Oops, share.
Oh, there we go. I see it now.
Okay, let me just go back.
Yep, you're good now.
Okay, perfect.
Taken.
Hey,
And we're recording. Yes, perfect. Okay, I'll admit everyone in. Hi, everyone. I can't see anyone popping up in here. Maybe try that. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? If you could just put something in the chat, that'd be awesome. Okay, great. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm Sarah. I am the admin assistant for My Wolf Design. I'm so excited. We're so excited to have everyone here today. I'm just stepping in for Meredith because she was unable to be here. So this is going to be a webinar with Olivia from CEO Digital. We're so excited. Email marketing is such an important tool to use in your small business, and it's often a tool that's underutilized. So I'm so excited to hear Olivia talk on this crash course. With that said, if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll be sure to get to them at the end of the webinar. And with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Olivia to start.
hello everyone. Fun story about Sarah and I. So Sarah and I both live in Kingston, Ontario, doing similar lines of work. And Sarah invited me out to lunch one day. And we just to chat and catch up and meet. We realized that we both went to the same high school at the same time in Barrie, Ontario. So we went to the same high school, didn't know each other then, but are good friends now. So but I am so excited that you guys are eager to learn more about email marketing. Anytime someone starts a new business, when they think of digital marketing, they automatically jump to social media, thinking that that is the be all end all for promoting their business. But like Sarah said, email marketing, it's such a powerful tool for your business. And I'm excited to dive right in. So before we do that, let me just get my screen working again. There we go. So my name's Liv or Olivia. You can call me either or. I am the owner of CEO Digital, and we are a digital marketing agency that works only with women in business. And our primary areas of focus are social media, email marketing, and then we also do some other aspects of digital marketing like website design and branding. My marketing story started about 10 years ago. Right after university, I worked for a multi-million-dollar corporation as a technical marketing specialist and then manager. I loved what I did, loved the industry I was working in. And then my husband got a really good job opportunity that brought us to Kingston. And while I was looking for a job in Kingston, I realized it was very difficult because all the good marketing gigs are in the Toronto area. I eventually got a job with a small to medium-sized tech company in Kingston where I was doing all of their marketing. I went from this massive marketing team with a budget that was like $5 million for marketing to a small team with me, and I had one assistant, and our marketing budget was about, $5 to $10,000. I almost quit so many times because it was such a big adjustment. But I'm happy I stuck with it because it allowed me to get resourceful. It helped me to be super creative and to find strategies that worked for smaller businesses, which little did I know would be extremely useful for me today, running my own business and working primarily with small women-owned businesses. Okay, so email marketing, that's what you're all here for. So, email marketing has a really bad reputation, and I totally get it. I'm sure, like all of you, first thing you do when you open up your email is you just see all of this junk mail from Old Navy and Lululemon, Crate and Barrel, and then you have to spend 10 minutes of your morning just going through and mass deleting all of this junk mail. So, when people come to me, most of the time they're asking about social media. And when I ask them about what they're looking for in their social media, they say they want to see more sales. And then I go back and say, well, what are you doing for email marketing? And most of the time they say, I'm not doing any email marketing and I don't really want to do email marketing. When I ask them why, there's three common answers that I hear. One is that they don't want to come across as spammy because they get the spam emails and they don't want to be associated with being spammy with their target audience. The second thing I hear is that they've tried it before, but it doesn't work. They've sent out a couple emails, they didn't see any new sales from it, so they just thought it wasn't for them and for their business. And then the last thing I hear is that it's just too much work and they simply don't have the time for it. So my goal today is to address these three concerns and convince you that you need to start email marketing, not today, but like yesterday. So every single business can benefit from email marketing, whether you're a product-based business, a service-based business, whether you're like an influencer, everyone has room for email marketing in their business. And here there are just some stats that I think are super powerful. I'm just going to move my little window over here so I can read it all. There we go. So for every dollar spent on email marketing, the average return on investment is $43. If my investment advisor came to me today and said, hey, Liv, I have this stock where if you invest just $1 into it, you're going to earn $43, I would say take all of my money because that's an incredible return on investment. 89% of marketers use email marketing as their primary channel to generate leads. I love this stat because as a marketer, we know what works and what doesn't work for lead generation. So if the vast majority of marketers are using email marketing to generate our leads, then you should too. In Europe and North America, email marketing is the most widely used technology for customer engagement. That's 77.6% compared to 61% shown by social media. This is a surprising stat because social media is such an engaging platform. So if more people are engaging with email over social media, that should tell us something. Email marketing is also 40 times more effective at converting compared to social media. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next slide. And then 61% of email subscribers like to receive email promotions weekly and would like to see promotional offers 2 to 3 times per week. So this fear of appearing too spammy with our audience, as we can see with the stat, the majority of our audience, they want to hear from us. If they have taken the time to actually sign up for our email list, it's telling us that they want to be part of our community and hear from us on a regular basis. All right, so why I love email marketing is that it compensates for social media. Like I said, when people start a new business, the first thing they want to jump on is social media to promote their business. And then it normally ends for them right there. But this is what people are often surprised to learn is that social media, it's not your sales tool. It's actually a brand awareness tool. And knowing the difference between a sales tool and a brand awareness tool means you're going to create content very differently for the two different platforms. So for social media, we have this algorithm that we have to compete with. With email marketing, we don't have an algorithm. We have all been there where we've spent hours.
You have reached Century 21. We are currently experiencing a high volume of calls. Please continue to hold for the next available receptionist.
Thanks. um, where was I? So are we able to turn the mics off for the people listening in? Okay. Okay.
Sorry, yes, I thought everyone was muted, but I will go. I just muted myself, so but I will double check on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So yes, there's no algorithm to compete with when it comes to email marketing. Um, We've all spent hours creating content for Instagram that we think is so good. We think the message is amazing. We think our caption is great. We've used all the right hashtags and keywords. We're using a trending audio, and then it gets shown to like 100 people. And that is extremely frustrating, especially because you've put so much time and energy into that one social media post. With email marketing, you control who sees your message and when, which is the only thing you have to worry about is creating an interesting enough subject line to actually get people to open your email. And I have a little slide on subject lines at the very end. With email marketing, you also have greater reach. Might come as a surprise, but not everyone actually has Instagram or TikTok. My husband is such a good example of this because he's a millennial like myself. So you would assume that he has some form of social media, but he has no Facebook, no LinkedIn, no Instagram, no Twitter. He has nothing, but he does have 3 different email addresses. He has his work email address, his personal email address, and then his university alum address. And every single one of his emails, he has subscribed to multiple email lists. So even though he doesn't have social media, he is on multiple email lists with 3 different emails. So with email marketing, you're going to reach this audience that is not even on social media. You don't have ownership over your Instagram or TikTok followers. Instagram owns those followers. So we have seen it so many times where Instagram goes down, someone gets hacked, their account gets suspended, and now they have 0 way of contacting or getting in touch with their target audience. And this is, if you have worked super hard to build a big following, this can be devastating. I have a client who, when I started with doing their social media with them, and then we started doing email marketing as well. During the last Instagram outage, their account was suspended. And when we did the appeal, um, and the appeal was denied, and then we got an email saying that our account was permanently disabled. Now, most of the time that would be like the worst news ever, but we have been working over the past year to build their email list from about 300 to over 2,000. And so when I told them that their account was permanently disabled, their response was, wow, thankfully we have a really good email list. There was no panic on their end because we had such a strong email list that we could still get in touch with our customers and our target audience. Don't worry, they did get their Instagram account back, so all was good there. It's also so much less work. With social media, there's pressure to be on the app every day, whether you're posting daily or you're on stories. With email marketing, you don't have to be sending out an email every day to be effective. The key is to use social media and email marketing together in a way that complements each other. Like I said, social media, that's your brand awareness. Email marketing, that's your sales conversion. So when you blend the two, that's when the magic happens. Okay, so hopefully by now I've convinced you that you should start email marketing. And now how do we actually get started with it? How do we set all of this up? The very first step is we need an email marketing platform. So no, you cannot just send out a mass email to all of your contacts from your business Google account and include some attachments. You actually need a platform. Number one, it's going to help you create professional looking emails. You're going to have a nice footer at the bottom with your address. You can add your logo. You can apply your branding to it. And it's just going to make your emails look nice and professional. You also have automation capabilities that are going to save you so much time and energy down the road. You get access to invaluable analytics that are going to help you to refine and enhance your future emails. And then you're going to be compliant with anti-spam laws, which we'll talk about at the end as well. So if you're asking for my professional recommendations for email platforms, Flowdesk is my number one go-to. It is on the more expensive end. It's about $38 a month, but it is extremely user-friendly. It comes with so many beautiful templates that you can apply your branding to, and you're just going to have a nice looking email at the end of the day with very little time and energy. The other benefit of Flowdesk is pretty much any other platform, you have these different tiers. So the lowest tier is, X number of dollars for a certain number of email sends. Once you've reached that level, then you have to move up to the next tier and it's more expensive. And then the next one. With Flowdesk, there's just one tier, unlimited email. So that makes it nice and easy. If you are interested in using Flowdesk, I do have a 50% off discount code. So feel free to message me and I can send you that code to get 50% off your first year. If budget is a concern, because I know as a small businesses, there's so many costs associated with running a business. And if there is no wiggle room, I'd rather you use a platform than no platform. So MailChimp actually has a decent free platform. I believe you get about 500 monthly email sends on the free plan. The downside is that there's no email scheduling, there's no automations, and the design elements are not great in MailChimp. But there are some workarounds that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on when we talk about designing your email. And so it is like, it's a good option if you don't want to spend any money. If you are someone who needs a lot of customer support, or you're looking for a system with additional features like a CRM, HubSpot's a really good platform to use. Their customer service is really, really amazing. There's also platforms you can use within your website. So website hosts like Wix or Squarespace, Shopify, they all have systems that are integrated into their website platform, and they're really cheap as well. I think Wix starts at like $13 a month. Squarespace is about $10 a month. So also good options to consider. And if you're using one of those platforms, they're really easy to integrate into, or they're really easy to get connected and set up with your website. Okay, so now that we've chosen your platform, our next step is let me just move these guys out of the way then again. Okay. You need a place for people to go and to actually sign up for your email list. So you need to connect your platform to your website. And this is probably going to feel like the most complicated part of setting up your email marketing. If you work with a website designer, this is something that they can easily do for you. And there are tons of YouTube tutorials to show you step-by-step of how to connect your specific platform with your specific website host. So yeah, YouTube will be your best friend. But basically, we need a place for people to get off of Instagram and social media and onto your email list. Instagram is a platform that's literally designed to keep people on the app, but that does you no good if people are just staying on Instagram and not getting off the app onto your website, preferably onto your email list. So we want to create content that's getting people off of the app. And how we do this is with a link to our landing page for our email list. So on our website, I would personally have a pop-up, an inline form, and a landing page. If you don't have a website, which you should, but if you don't, you can actually create a landing page with any of these platforms and then use that URL from the landing page and connect it to your social media as a way for people to get on that list. My little fun tip is I like to not call our email list a newsletter. That is so boring. Like no one's going to want to sign up for something called a newsletter. So we want to think outside the box and make it feel really exclusive. My favorite little example of this is Lululemon. They got me with it, is their membership. So with their membership, where I create an account and I give them my email address, they send me all kinds of promotions. I get an email of when I can first shop new product line or new product drops. I get the exclusive opportunity to actually return sale items. And so because this made me feel exclusive and I liked the perks, I signed up and now I get way too many emails from them. Yeah, so just make it sound exciting and make it sound like something people want to be a part of. Okay, so now that we have our email marketing platform set up and it's on our website, now we need to create our lead magnet. And this is how we are going to actually build our email list. A lead magnet is something that we are going to offer our audience in exchange for their email address. We want it to be something that's specific to you and your business. And the most important part, we want it to be valuable. So some examples could be like a downloadable guide, a resource, a video or a podcast, free training or a quiz. You basically want people to think, wow, like I got this for free. Imagine what I would get from them if I actually paid for their service. So this is an example of my lead magnet. It is a guide to Instagram analytics. Like I said, social media is a very important part of my business. Most of the time people come to me for social media help. They think they're doing so bad on social media. They think that because they only have, 100 views on a reel or they're only getting 20 likes on a post, that they're failing at it. And I've seen this time and time and time again. So my idea for my lead magnet was to create a guide to help them break down their analytics and provide them with benchmarks so that they were able to see that how they're actually performing on social media. So what I did is I created my lead magnet, which is this guide. I'm then going to promote it on social media, promote it on my stories, promote it in my grid, have a link for people to go and actually get the guide. So in my bio, I have a link to my guide, and then people can get off the app. They go to my landing page from Instagram, they sign up, and then they get the guide. So now that we have our lead magnet, it's time to start actually creating our emails. And so my biggest tip is don't create content on the fly. Instead, we want to strategically map out our content and how we want to present it. The best way to do this is to create some content pillars. And your content pillars are going to be some overarching themes that you're going to talk about time and again and again and again and again. We also don't want to focus on selling with every single email that we have, because that is when emails do start to feel really spammy. We want to provide value to our audience, which is why I like to stick to the 80-20 rule, where 80% of our emails are focused on value and 20% are focused on selling. And then if you need help with content planning, I really like using a content calendar just to keep us on track, keep us organized, and then it really gives us this overall picture of how our email content strategy is coming together. So if you're a real estate agent, this is an example of maybe what your content pillars would look like. So 20% of your emails are maybe about your current listings that you have going on. And then maybe 80% of your emails, you're talking about some real estate secrets, buyers tips, sellers tips, real estate myths, decor and design trends, mortgage FAQs. Basically, you want people to think that when they see your name pop up in their inbox, they're thinking like, ooh, like what good piece of information am I going to get today? Not, oh, here's just another listing. I'm not in the market to buy a house yet, so I'm not going to open the email. Okay, email automations. I love a good email automation because they take a lot of time up front to set up, but once they're there, like you can have them for forever and they end up saving you so much time in the long run. There's all kinds of automations that you can set up. There's a welcome automation, follow-up automation, thank you automation, events, feedback automations. Like it's endless. And in Flowdesk, it actually gives you, I believe it gives you some suggestions for different sequences that you can have. So here's an example of a welcome automation, and you need a welcome automation if you're doing email marketing. If you don't have an email that's automatically going to go to a new subscriber when they sign up, It's kind of like walking into a store and nobody greeting you. It feels kind of rude. So we want to create a welcome email where they're being acknowledged for joining your list. You're thanking them, letting them know what to expect. So this is just a little example of something you could include in your welcome sequence. So you have a new subscriber, they sign up for your email list, and then automatically, as soon as they sign up, they're going to get a thank you for subscribing email. It could just say, thank you so much for subscribing. Here's what you can expect from being on my email list. You can keep it short and sweet. It doesn't have to be anything super long or complicated. And then maybe a week later, you're going to pop up in their inbox again with a little about me email, just reminding your audience of who you are, why they decided to join your list, and make it personal. Show your personality in it. And then maybe a week later, you're going to give a little intro or summary into your products or service, and maybe you'll give them a little freebie. Okay, pop-ups are amazing. They are such an easy way to build your email list. My pop-up is responsible for about 30% of my email list. And the reason being is that they are super easy for people to subscribe. The key is to make it easy. So when it comes to a pop-up, I personally only recommend just asking for their email. But it's a really good conversion tool because it actually shows user intent. Instead of exiting out of that pop-up, they're telling you that they are interested and they want to learn more from you. Okay, so how often should I send emails? This is definitely one of my most frequently asked questions. So, something to consider, open rates and click rates tend to decrease with email frequency, but sales tend to increase with consistent and frequent email marketing. So essentially, it's not really a black and white answer. You need to find a frequency that works for you. I always recommend that if my clients have never done any email marketing to start with, just start with a monthly email. Maybe it's like a monthly update about your business and what's been going on behind the scenes. But start with monthly, work your way up to bi-weekly, and then adjust your frequency from there based on what your data is telling you. And the nice thing with email marketing, there's so much room to play around. So say you bump up your frequency and you notice that your engagement is decreased, maybe your sales are decreasing as well, then you can just adjust your frequency, right? So there's definitely a lot of room to play around and just find that consistency that works for you. All right, content calendars. Again, I love a good content calendar. So what I do for my content calendars, it's just an Excel spreadsheet. This is also great if you are working with someone who's doing your email marketing for you, just to keep everybody on the same track. So what I include is like, what is my overarching content calendar? I make sure that I'm touching on all of our different content categories throughout the month or the year, just making sure that we're being very consistent in what we're talking about. I have a line for our subject line. There's a section for what we want to include in our body, all the different points that we want to touch on. I want to talk about our call to action. This is so, so important. I can't tell you how many times when people send me their emails for an email audit, there's no call to action. They have this lovely update and then there's zero call to action. People are not mind readers. They don't know what action you want them to take unless you tell them and you tell them clearly. So make sure you have multiple call to actions within your emails. You can include information about any promotional offers you are having, if you're including a freebie, what the send date is, and then an email status. So is it complete? Is it scheduled? Is it just in draft form? I love being organized, and this is a really good way to do that. Okay, audience segments. This is also something that's very important. And again, Flowdesk, my favorite, allows you to really easily create different segments for within your audience. And why this is important is because not everyone in your sales funnel is at the same place for conversion, and we need to meet people where they're at. So for example, If I have a client who's one of my email marketing clients, I'm not going to be sending them emails about why they need to be doing email marketing because they're already doing email marketing. So instead, I want to segment my audience into different groups and create content about that's going to be the most targeted for them. And you can have so many different segments and you can send an email to multiple segments. So the more organized you can be with your audience, the better it's going to be. Okay, anti-spam laws. So in Canada, it's actually illegal to send marketing emails to anyone who has not subscribed to your email list. You have to get consent to send marketing emails, which is why you want to use an email marketing platform. Another frequently asked question that I get all the time is, can I just upload my contact list into my marketing platform, my email marketing platform? And the answer is no. You need to have that proof that someone has opted into your email list. The penalties for spamming someone are extremely high in Canada. Now, what is the likelihood that your mom is going to report you to the police for sending her an unsolicited email? Probably super low. But it's not a risk that I think anyone should take. And it's kind of like buying followers. If you buy followers on Instagram, that does you no good. You have this nice, shiny looking metric that you have a bunch of followers, but if they're not engaged and they're not helping you at all. So it's kind of like the same thing if you're just uploading your friends and family to your email list to make it look like you have this big fancy strong email list. It's not going to do any good. So organic growth all the way. And email marketing platforms will also include an unsubscribe button at the end. So if that is somebody wants to unsubscribe, they can easily do so. And the beauty is that your lost my train of thought. Sorry. When they unsubscribe, you still have their contact information. They just won't receive your promotional information. So it's a nice thing to still have. Okay, so some quick tips for creating visually appealing emails. This might feel hard, especially if you're someone who you're like not a graphic designer or you maybe don't have that design eye, but there are some simple things you can do to make sure that your emails look really good. The first and most important is using consistent branding. You want to make sure you use your brand colors, you use your brand fonts, and you're following your brand guidelines. So if you have not invested in professional branding, this is a hint to do so. Because it's going to help all of the different elements of your marketing just really come together nicely. Get professional branding photos. Stock photos are okay. Professional branding photos where we can see your face, your treatments, your services, your products are going to make a world of a difference in how your emails are coming across to your audience. The wonderful thing about brand photos is that you can use them in your email marketing, your social media, your website. You can get so much use out of them, and it really is such a smart investment. I recommend people get at least yearly new brand photos. Ideally twice a year. You'd have 2 brand shoots a year, just to have that new content on a regular basis. If you are using a free platform like MailChimp that doesn't have pretty templates, use tools like Canva where you can create really beautiful graphics that are branded and you can import that into your email. It will make a big difference in how your emails look. Don't use fonts that are smaller than size 15. The reason being is that for mobile readers, anything that's smaller than 15 is going to be too small to read. You want to make sure that you're infusing your personality into your emails, and we're going to talk about using your brand voice next. And we want to break up heavy text email copy. So do not like have just this long paragraph of text. People are going to lose interest. It's boring. It looks boring to read, so they might not read it. Instead, break it up. So have a paragraph, then add an image or a graphic, have another paragraph. Maybe have another paragraph underneath that's in like that's like in a colored block. So there's lots of ways to break up your text so it looks more visually inviting to actually read. And then make sure you have those calls to action. Sorry, make sure you have those call to actions very visible. So I like to use buttons and use a lot of buttons with a strong call to action. And don't forget to use your brand voice. You want your emails to feel like you're actually talking to somebody and having a conversation. So you want to bring your unique perspectives into the email. So like think about, what is your tone of voice? Is it fun? Is it serious, intelligent, bubbly? Is it elegant? Really consider what your brand tone of voice is and let that flow through your emails. Think about what different isms you can add into your email copy. And like I said, you want to emulate a face-to-face conversation. If you do not have a brand persona, I recommend creating one. And in that, you would include your brand voice. This comes in handy, especially if you're working with an agency or you're working with someone on your email marketing, so that you both have a clear idea of the tone of voice you want your emails to have. The goal when you are working with someone is the person creating your email content for you, you want it, it needs to sound like your tone of voice. You don't want people thinking, oh, I wonder who they're working with because this email sounds so good. You want them to think that it is like you creating that email because it's captured your tone of voice so well. Okay, so tips for writing attention-getting subject lines. Like we said, when it comes to social media, you have this really annoying algorithm that you have to compete with. But the biggest thing with email marketing, there is no algorithm. The most important thing you have to think about is creating an attention-getting subject line that's going to convince people to actually open your email. So I love using emojis in all of my subject lines. There is a lot of noise and a lot of busyness in everyone's inbox. There's a lot to compete with in terms of how many emails people are getting a day. So we want something that's going to catch their eye, and emojis are a really simple way to catch someone's eye in your email box, in your inbox. You can personalize it. If you have captured their name when they're subscribing for your email list, you can actually personalize the subject line. And when it's personalized, it's going to catch their attention. Think, oh, they've like written this email for me. So a little example could be, if I'm doing writing an email about maybe tips for making your email marketing better, it would say, Liv, I see you struggling with email marketing. You could also consider asking a question and then utilizing preview text to give more information of what's in the email. So my little example is, are you writing boring subject lines? That would be the subject line with my little emoji. And then the preview, 10 tips for writing subject lines that get emails opened. Pretend that you're talking to a friend. Remember your little isms. So like one of my isms that I use on Instagram in my emails is calling my Instagram and online friend sis. So I could say, okay, sis, it's time to ditch the boring emails. And then don't be afraid to add some humor into your email marketing as well. So if I'm doing an email to my audience on why people need to start investing in email marketing, a fun little humorous subject line could be email marketing because carrier pigeons just don't cut it anymore. So make sure you have fun with your subject lines to help them stand out. This is where ChatGPT is actually a really good tool. If you give it a good prompt for a subject line, it can give you some fun ideas to work with. Okay, so to quickly recap, I've convinced you that you need to start email marketing. Step number one is you need to select an email marketing platform and sign up for it. Once you signed up for your email marketing platform, you then need to create your forms for people to actually go sign up. So that would be an inline form embedded right into your website, a pop-up, and a landing page. Then once that's set up, you need to create your welcome sequence automation. So when people sign up, they're going to get an email that welcomes them to your list. And then you need to create your lead magnet and start your list building. And a little tip for using social media with email marketing is you can basically create a lead magnet for every single email, and it doesn't have to be anything big. So, for example, a lot of my clients are nurse injectors, and they are not, as nurses, they are not allowed to promote sales and promotions and pricing on social media, but they are allowed to within an email list. So what we do is we take a topic, maybe it's a skincare concern, maybe we're talking about acne, for example. And then in social media, we will talk about different treatments available for acne, and then let people know that if they sign up for their email list, then they are going to receive a special promotion on this service that we've been talking about on social media. And then they would link in their bio their URL for their landing page for people to actually sign up. Definitely use contact calendars to help keep you organized. And then it's time to start designing your email and start your email scheduling. And that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Liv. That was so awesome. Some really great reminders, even for myself, in there. And just I want to just make a note about Flowdesk and Mailchimp. So I started with Mailchimp. I'm actually in the process of switching everything over to Flowdesk because I just love Flowdesk that much. Like I started with the free Mailchimp account, and then went to a paid version, but Flowdesk is like, oh, there's nothing like it.
Oh god. Yeah. Once you start using Flowdesk, you won't want to use anything else.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So, for all of you that are looking at a platform, I would definitely recommend Flowdesk as well. On that note, would you be able to drop your link for the discount code in the chat? Someone just had asked for it.
Yes, I
That,
will.
or I can do, or you can send it to me and I can do it.
Okay. Yes. Let me stop sharing this. I will do that. Stop share. Okay. I will get that code right now.
Yeah, sure. And then we just have a couple of questions. Can you see the questions or is it just on my end? I think it's just on my end.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys have if there's anyone else that has any other questions, just while we're waiting on that, feel free to drop them in the chat. And we will be happy to answer them for you and get all that information to you.
Okay, I am just about to drop this link here. Where's
Yeah.
the chat at here?
Um,
Oh, chat. Here we
Should
go.
be at the bottom, yeah. Perfect, I see
There we
it.
go.
Okay, great. Okay, can you see those questions or do you need me
Yes,
to
now I
hold it?
can. Yeah,
Perfect,
no,
yeah.
we're good.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
What is the benefit to still having the contacts information if they unsubscribe to your list? Um, they might subscribe again. And it's still just because they don't want to receive spam, like consistent email marketing, you could still contact them and have a conversation with them. So there's no rules against just not contacting them in general. So if there's someone that you've noticed has been particularly interested in a certain topic, even though they've opted out, you could still contact them one-on-one and see if they're open to having a conversation at all. It's just always a good thing to have in your back pocket. Okay, is email marketing still effective for a client realtor that doesn't have a personal website, rather a landing page under a larger brokerage and therefore cannot include a pop-up on their page? While promoting your email list solely on Facebook and still generate signups? Okay, yes, there's a lot in this question. So is it still effective for a client that doesn't have a personal website? Yes, you can still. A lot of my clients, even though I try so hard to tell them that they need a website, many of them just use a landing page as like their website, which is just a spot for them to collect email addresses. So yes, you could rather a landing page under a larger brokerage and therefore, yeah. Yeah, so you could definitely still have just a landing page and use that URL to link to your social media, and promoting it on your email list solely on Facebook and Instagram still generate signups. Yes, it will, especially if you are kind of like what I was saying. Um, like an example, if you are a realtor, say you have a new listing coming up, you could tease it on your Instagram and say, I have this new listing, and maybe give some sneak peeks of what it looks like and say, people on my email, like my email subscribers, they're going to get like the first access or first look at this listing. And then you have your link within your bio that people can actually sign up. So that's the way that you can leverage social media to tease out certain things that you're trying to sell. Yeah, so tease it out on social media and then give them like the full picture on your email list. And then after your email list has gotten that first exclusive sneak peek, then you can share it on social media. So that's just a little way that you could do that. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Okay, well, if you have any other questions, feel free to, oh, I see a new message. Oh, it was just saying thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we would be happy to answer them and reach out to Liv. And I know she'd be happy to help you in any way, if you have any other questions. So thank you so much. Thank you, Liv, for putting on an awesome webinar. I think that had so much great information in it. And thank you for everyone for attending. And I hope everyone has a great day. Oh, yes. Yep. This will be shared. It will be shared to our email list. So yes, you will get a copy of this.
Amazing. Well, thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.